everyone, Renee here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are recapping my entire reading year of 2021. So this video is just going to be an accumulation of a bunch of different statistics and results from my reading of 2021. I don't actually like statistics, but I literally spent so long trying to figure out how to make a pie chart last night to do this video, and I'm ready, you know? I felt like I was back in school last night trying to put all these stats together. But yes, it was very fun to look back on and see how my year was. 2021 was definitely a year of reading for me that was very special because it was kind of the resurgence of my reading. Because when I was little, I used to read all the time, constantly, couldn't find me without a book, and then I kind of fell away for a little bit, and then I read a little bit, and then I took such a long break. And it wasn't until later on in my college days when I found booktube, and I just thought it was so fun, and I actually started looking up books again and reading here and there. And then 2020, I really started bunkering down and just falling in love with reading again. And in 2021, it just took full force, and it was so nice to catch up on these books that I've missed and get back into this hobby that I love so much. And I have just had the best year with it. So without further ado, let's talk about it. Let's talk about my year. I have my MacBook over here, so I'm going to be looking over quite a bit. So in 2021, I read 76 books. My Goodreads goal was 75, so I surpassed it by 1. We love small successions. Then for pages, we had 24,362. Solid. My shortest book of the year was Little Feasts by Jules Archer. This is only an 84-page book. It is a short story collection that is indie published. And then my longest book is Tomi by Junji Ito, which is 752 pages. This is a manga, and it is a thick manga, which I kind of wish I read a book, like an actual novel that was that long, because then I'd feel a little bit more impressed. But if I really had to think about it and I looked back, I think the longest novel that I read might have been Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. I don't know how many pages that was, but it was long. Then average pages for 2021 was 320 pages per book. I think that's a pretty solid number. I think that's pretty average. I did read some longer books, some shorter books, but cumulatively, a lot of them were kind of around that 3 to 350 mark. So yeah, pretty solid, I'd say. The most popular book, according to Goodreads, that I read in 2021, and I by all means do believe this is true, is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which has been shelved by more than 1.6 million people. And honestly, rightfully so. That book, incredible, yes. And then my least popular book that I read in 2021, according to Goodreads, was also Little Feasts by Jules Archer, shelved by just over 200 people. Like I said, this is an indie published book, and I feel like not a lot of people know about it. I had very average feelings about it, but it was pretty interesting. You should go check it out, support an indie published author. Then this is interesting. My average rating for 2021 was a 3.7. I think is pretty fair, pretty good, reflective, and I think a 3.7 is a very good average rating for a whole entire year. And I do feel like I had a great reading year. And then my highest rated read this year, according to Goodreads, was Heartstopper Volume 1 by Alice Oseman, which has a 4.52% rating at the time of filming this video, and as it deserves. Heartstopper is such a cute graphic novel. I'm so happy that I started reading it this year. Absolutely love it. Definitely well worth all the hype and love it gets. Yes. So then this is where the charts come in. I made pretty charts for you guys to look at these. So first off, we have my genre breakdown of the year. This was a year that I definitely surprised myself with the genres that I was reading, because before 2021, I was such an avid fantasy reader, and I found this year that I didn't read much, and I found other loves in books. So let's show the chart here. So we have, when it comes to fantasy, only 6 fantasy, and you can see that a huge chunk of this pie chart is romance. I read 27 romance books this year, and I am now a romance reader. I love reading romance. They're fun, they're fun, but they can be meaningful and impactful, And it's just such a joy reading. Like, I feel so happy reading romance books. And then the second biggest chunk of this pie chart is thrillers. I also discovered my love of thriller books. Outside of reading, I am a huge horror fan. Like, I love watching horrors and thrillers and mysteries, stuff of that nature, but I hadn't actually dabbled that much in reading those genres. So this year definitely started getting more into thrillers. Did I read some awful ones? Yes, but you know, hopefully over time I'll kind of come into my own with thrillers and find some really good ones. And then yeah, we only had 6 fantasies. We had 4 horrors, 4 historical slash fiction books, 10 graphic novels, 9 manga, and 2 poetry and short story collections. But yeah, this is a pretty little pie chart. I kind of love looking at pie charts. And when I was making them, I was mad at first, and then as I was looking at them, I was like, oh, this is kind of satisfying. Something else that I would like to note is I did not read any classical, oh my god, is I did not read any classics or nonfictions. And I will get into that later, because I have a point with that, I swear. Next, we're gonna get into my rating breakdown. So we're gonna look at a pie chart that shows all of my star ratings for the year and how many fell into which category. So here it is. I think this looks like what most people's would look like from what I've seen so far. A huge chunk of it is 4 stars. I had 32 4-star reads this year. And then coming in second, I had 20 3-star reads. And I'm quite proud of my little pink sliver here of 17 5-star reads. I read so many amazing books this year, like, wow. And then my smaller sections here, I'm also quite happy were very small. We had 4 2-star reads, 3 1-star reads, and I did DNF 4 books. I feel like I probably should have DNF'd more, but it is what it is. I do support DNFing because time is precious, and why would you want to waste your time trying to force a read that you don't enjoy? Then I have 2 more pie charts. The next one is the type of reading that I did, which is physical, ebook, and audio. This is definitely more unbalanced because up until halfway through this year, I didn't have a Kindle and I didn't really listen to any audiobooks. I've never listened to an audiobook, I think, before May or June. So for the first half of the year, I was reading exclusively physical. So I ended up reading 45 physical books this year, and then I discovered audiobooks, and oh my gosh, do I love audiobooks, especially because I have such a long commute to work that it's an hour one way. So I get a lot of listening done. I ended up listening to 22 audiobooks, and then I also got a Kindle later on in the year. My boyfriend surprised me with one, so since I've gotten that, I have read 9 ebooks. And it's just making reading so fun, giving all of these different mediums and different ways of reading, so definitely have enjoyed my experience kind of branching out in that way. And then the last pie chart that I have for you is my young adult versus new adult versus adult book. This is the year that I really started coming into adult books, and let me show you what I mean. This is another kind of off-kilter chart. Look at that. 35 adult books, and going into this year I read mostly young adults, and that was actually my smallest category. I only read 8 young adult books and I read 11 new adult books, and I think that's just age, man. I'm getting old, okay? Yeah, young adult just doesn't impact me the way that it used to, and I mean, clearly rightfully so, that's what happens, you know, when you get older. So yeah, all in all, I think I had a really great reading year. Definitely lots of self-discoveries with my reading tastes and definitely coming into my own with it. So definitely have really enjoyed my time. And not only that, but booktube. This is the first year on booktube for me. I've officially been on booktube for 1 year, and I cannot be more happy that I took the plunge and just uploaded that first video and stuck with it. I've met some amazing friends, and I've just had an absolute blast making these videos and just being able to talk about the books that I'm reading, because I don't have a lot of people to discuss these with in my real life. And then I do want to end this video on kind of a reflection note. So I do have a couple goals for 2022 that I want to go for. Starting out with the most basic goal, but the fun goal, is my Goodreads goal, which I set to 70 books this year. It is a little bit of a downshot from last year, because last year my goal was 75, but I kind of want to set it a little lower so I can exceed it a little more. But my major goal is like 100 books, so like we'll see. I'd also like to start and maintain a reading journal. I used to journal in 2020. I had a bullet journal and I tried to have it in 2021 and I just did not have time to update and maintain it. And I was trying to do like life and reading in one and it was just a lot. So I think this year I want to prioritize just a reading journal, you know, get my thoughts together, get any lists together, like do some planning for YouTube and TBRs and stuff like that and just write it all down and hopefully stay a little bit organized in that regard. So I would love to start doing that. I did get a new journal, so. And then cycling back to the fact that I didn't read any classic or nonfiction, I would really love to read at least one of both of those genres this year. That's a low bar, but for me, it'll be a miracle if it happens. I always say that I want to read a classic, like, oh my God, I read a classic. Like, I just feel like I would be that girl if I read a classic. Like, reading a classic is just something that I always think I'm gonna do. There are definitely some that are sticking out to me. Like, I feel like I would like them if I read them, but then I look at them again when it comes time to actually pick it up and read it, and I'm just like, next time. And I've never actually, you know, gotten over myself in that regard and read a classic. So hopefully this year will be the year I do. The same with nonfiction. I don't read books to stay in the current reality that I'm in. I read books to escape. So therefore nonfictions are not really for me. But, you know, we can try it. We can see how it goes. Maybe a self-help book. I need a lot of help mentally, so. And my last goal, more of a YouTube goal, is just to build on this channel. I'd love to hit 1,000 subscribers or 1,000 friends, as I would call you guys, and just continue this wonderful journey. So yeah, that pretty much does it. That is my recap of 2021 and a little bit of goals to start off 2022 with. So I'm very, very excited and very, very proud of my reading. And yes, that is all I have for this video. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up down below to help support this channel, and also subscribe if you haven't already to follow me on my reading journey. Like always, all of my socials will be down below too if you'd like to follow me more closely. And yeah, once again, I hope you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!